In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get abs, lose belly fat using my simple 7-step process so you can achieve this before summer. I know what it's like when you're looking to achieve that goal. You want to shred the belly fat, you want to get abs, and you don't know where to start, because I was in that exact position some 6 or 7 years ago when I started, so it must be even worse now. So what I've done is I've got a few notes here into the 7 steps. I've made this as simple as possible, and from doing this myself and coaching, these are some of the biggest mistakes I see people make, so I know this is going to help you. So step 1, you need to find some calories to start on. So literally all I do for this, go to Google, type in calorie calculator and just pick one off there. A lot of people overthink this part, but your starting calories do not matter, because this is a problem. A lot of people think, oh, my starting calories need to be perfect. Is this right? Is that right? Realistically, it needs to change. Over time, you're going to have to make adjustments. So the start is merely a start. And once you get started, then you can make adjustments and sort of fine tune it to yourself from there. But you can literally go on one, I've got it here, tdeecalculator.net, and just get started. Put in some of your details, and then there you'll have your starting calories and your starting protein. If it doesn't give you protein at least one gram per pound of body weight, and then your starting calories will be there. So step 2, now you've got your calories, you're going to use MyFitnessPal to track your calories every single day to your new calorie target. Or this is something that I used to do, is make yourself a meal plan to that calorie target. I didn't really know, and I didn't really want to track my calories every single day. So all I'd do is I'd download MyFitnessPal and I'd make myself a meal plan on there, tally it all up, and then I just eat that meal plan every day. Instead of having to pull my phone out, track the calories, I just make a meal plan on there. So make your choice. Are you going to track your calories each day to make sure you hit your target, or are you just going to make yourself a meal plan that you can follow each day? Either way, make that, and then you've got your set now. So you should have your calories, and then you've got either your calories to follow, or you've got your meal plan to follow. That's going to allow you to hit your starting calories. Step 3, you need to have ways you're going to track your progress. So take starting pictures, find a place in your house so that's going to have the same lighting, same poses each week. So ones I use, front, side and back, and use it in the same lighting, because if you're doing ones at the gym where you're fully pumped and then you're doing ones at home, it's not going to be accurate. We need to track the progress so we can make the necessary adjustments. So pictures, take your body weight. So you're going to need some digital scales, not some crappy analog ones, and don't use it on carpet either. You're going to use them in your bathroom. So take your starting pictures, take your starting weight, fasted in the morning, okay? And then this isn't really tracking progress, but you're going to need, on top of that, you're going to need some digital weighing scales to weigh your foods out as well. You can actually take measurements, so you can take measurements of your arms, your waist, your chest, and your legs, but it's not something that I personally use, but it's something you can use. Or if you want the abs, and you want your waist to go down and you want the body fat to go down, you can just simply measure around your waist, so it's like around your belly button. Measure your waist there, and then it's easy. You don't have to measure here, measure there, measure your legs, measure your. So step 4 is to set a baseline of your activity. So this is an important one. So whatever you're doing across the week, everything needs to be consistent. For example, you need to be lifting weights at least 3 to 5 times per week. So set yourself a goal. How many times are you going to be in the gym lifting weights per week? Anywhere between 3 and 5 will be a good number. And then what you want to do from there is set yourself a step goal. Reason being is you don't want to do like 10,000 steps a day one week, then the next week you're doing 4,000 steps a day. You need to keep things consistent so you can make the adjustments, and so you know what you're doing, and so you're not basically pissing in the wind and not having a clue what you're doing. To set a step goal, what I do is go onto your phone, look in the Apple Health app, and that will show you what your average steps have been throughout the week. And if you're a weirdo and for some reason use Android, do whatever you do to find your steps using that, because I have no idea, because I don't use one. So a rough guide for this: if your steps are currently less than 6k per day, I just add 2k onto this. So let's say you're doing 5k steps per day, I'd bump that up to 7k, and I'd say 7k is your new step target. If you're doing more than 6k, 7, 8, 9, 10, I just keep it at that. So whatever you've been doing on average, I just keep it around that. So if you've been doing 7k, you can keep it at 7. anywhere between 7 and 10 is a good amount of steps to be doing per day. And then set up your cardio. This is a bit of a difficult one. I can't say, you need to be doing this cardio. If you're currently watching this video and you're like, I'm not doing any cardio at all, let's say, all right, we're going to get you on 2 lots of 30 minutes per week. Reason being is we just need to know what you're doing per day. We don't want to say, right, we're going to get you running 7 days per week. We're going to get your calories really low, because you're not going to be able to adhere to that. So if you're doing nothing now, you will have your step target, and then you want a cardio target on top of that. So let's say 2 lots of 30 minutes per week after one of your workouts, and that will give you the cardio goal. So now you know how many steps you've got to be doing per day. You know how much food you need to be eating. You've got a means to track that. You know how many times you're training in the week, and now you know how much cardio you're doing. So minimum of 2 lots of 30 minutes per week. For this, you can just use any means that you want. If you want to do it on the bike, if you want to go for a run, if you want to do it on the cross trainer, do it however you want. The main thing is that you get yourself moving and you get your body moving. If you don't want to use a target as in 2 times 30 minutes, you can just do that. You can just say, I'm going to do 600 calories of cardio across the week, and then tally that up across the week. So those are 2 ways you can set your cardio, but the main thing is you just set yourself a target. I'm going to be training X amount of times per week. I'm going to be doing X amount of steps per day, and I'm doing X amount of cardio per day. And the reason being is you'll know why this is important further on in the video when I explain how to make changes and how to make adjustments to get to your goal. Step 5 is you are ready to go now. You know how many steps you need to be doing per day. You know how much cardio you need to be doing per week. You know how much you need to be lifting per week. You know how many calories you need to be eating per day and across the week. So now what you need to do is stick to this for about 2 weeks. Okay, so you need to be sticking to the plan you've now made yourself, and you need to be logging your progress to see what your progress is doing. So you need to be taking your scale weight every day across the week, or as many days as you can, so you can take the average. Your scale weight's always going to be up and down because of your stress, your sleep, how much salt you've eaten, if you've been to the toilet. All of these things can affect your scale weight. So taking it as many times across the week and taking the average will allow you to see where your progress is heading and where your physique is heading. So you will have taken progress pictures, you're taking your scale weight across the week, you're going off by how you feel. So you stick to your plan for 2 weeks, see what your scale weight does, see what your physique does, see if you're feeling better, you're looking better, and then you can assess the changes that you basically see. When taking your scale weight, you want to take the averages, like I said. So you can just use an app called Happy Scale. It's one I use. It saves you doing the maths instead of, adding up all your scale weights, dividing them and finding the average. So download that app called Happy Scale, and then just plot your weights into there, and then it's going to tell you what your average is, your losses across those weeks. So a good rate of loss to aim for would be about 0.7 to 1% of your body weight per week. So let's say you're watching this and you're 100 kilos, you can aim for about 0.7 to a kilo lost per week. So now that gives you something to aim for. Now you've stuck to your plan, and you can see if your scale weight's moving down for the first few weeks. I'd always give it a few weeks, just because you're getting into a new routine, and the first week sometimes isn't accurate. So give yourself 2 weeks to get into the routine, to log the progress, to stick to the plan, and then you can see, where was I at first week, where was I at second week, and then you can look at the end of the week 2 and assess your progress and make the adjustments. So when you're taking your scale weight as well, just please make sure it's fasted in the morning. Don't start weighing yourself in the gyms. Don't start weighing yourself at the end of the day. Use your digital scales that you should have got at the start of this process. Weigh yourself in the bathroom, on hard floor, not on carpet, every single day. That's going to give you an accurate representation of where you're at. Obviously, some weeks are going to be more, some weeks are going to be less, but aiming for that 0.7 to 1% of your body weight per week will give you a nice target to aim for. So step 6 is sort of like step 5. I sort of spoke about them both, but step 6 is just assess your progress. Assess what your scale weight is doing. Assess your pictures that you've been taking. So you should have had 3 sets of pictures by now, taking a set of photos every single week. You can see what your scale weight is doing and then assess. If you're not progressing in the way you want, then this is all you do, and you just make the adjustments. This doesn't mean throw the kitchen sink at it. If you're not making the progress, it doesn't mean, right, we're going from two cardio sessions to 5 cardio sessions. We're going from training 3 days a week to 5. And then, we're putting my calories from 2,500 to 1,500. It doesn't work like that. You've probably tried that in the past, just cutting your calories really low, doing loads of cardio, and it's not actually working for you. So you make the small adjustments if you're not progressing the way you want. If you are progressing the way you want, brilliant. You carry on doing that until your progress slows down, and then you make the adjustments. But you only make adjustments when they are needed. This will be the key of a sustainable journey to getting a six-pack. You know, anyone can lose a bit of weight for a few weeks. You've probably done that before. You've burnt out and then ended up going round in circles. Instead, what you want to do is make sustainable changes. So let's say your progress isn't where you wanted. You know, you're not losing at the rate of loss that you wanted, or you're not progressing in the way you want in pictures or in the gym. Okay, so what you need to do from here is make an adjustment. It doesn't mean, like I said, upping cardio, lowering food. It means making one adjustment. So if I was to lower food, I'd make an adjustment of 100 to 200 calories per day. So you make the adjustment. Let's say you're eating 2,500, we'll put you down to 2,300, and then you'll do another week on that and continue to assess. Or if you want to increase your cardio instead, because all you need to think of is, if you lower your food, that puts you into a deficit. If you increase your cardio, that puts you into a deficit. So you do one or the other. There's very rare circumstances where you do both, but in this case, you're starting off and you want to start off in a way that's going to be sustainable. So what I do is I'd either decrease food or increase cardio. Let's say I'm going to add one more session per week. I'm going to add an extra 400 calories across the week. Okay, make your adjustment and then use that for the coming week. Step 7 is assess again. And you'll probably get the idea now. It's like a lot of assessing, but this is where so many people go wrong. They just think there's going to be, you know, these perfect calories, this perfect plan they're looking for on social media. You know, you're looking for it. You don't find it because it doesn't exist. This is where the real change happens, is when you assess. You set your targets, you assess. So let's say last week you made the adjustment of 200 calories less. You assess again. If you're carrying on and you're progressing well, right, you carry on. If it's not broken, don't fix it, because you want to save the changes for when they're needed. You know, if you put your calories sub-zero now, you put your cardio really high, you're going to get to a point where your calories are really low, your cardio is really high, you can't really afford to pull your calories anymore, you feel like shit, you can't really afford to put your cardio any higher because you're already doing so much, but you still look at yourself and you still got body fat to lose. That's not what you want. If you want to have a sustainable journey where you can actually get yourself to the low percentage of body fat, get yourself to see your abs, that's exactly what you need to do, is assess. If you're going great, don't make a change. If you need to make a change and continue that process on and on until you reach the physique you want. And this is why I said at the start, it doesn't really matter what your starting calories are, because you're going to need adjustments along the way. So that's why I say to people, you want to get, this is going to be one of the biggest tips actually, you want to get the most from the least. Okay, so when you're losing fat, you want to be able to lose fat and lose body weight whilst eating the most amount of food and doing the least amount of cardio. Because over time, when your body weight slows down and your progress slows down, that means you can afford to bring your cardio up, you can afford to pull food down. But let's say you max out your stats, you put your food sub-zero, your cardio sky high, where do you go from there? You need to give yourself wiggle room for when your progress plateaus, because it's going to plateau. Your body is a survival machine and it wants to survive. So you want to be able to eat the most amount of food whilst, let's say, losing 1% of your body weight per week. And you want to be doing that whilst doing the least amount of cardio. So if things slow down, you can say, right, I'm going to pull my food slightly, I'm going to increase my cardio, and you can continue doing that. Assess, look, assess. As the weeks go on, and make the adjustments. And this is why tracking your progress is so important, like I said at the start. Because if you weren't tracking your progress, you didn't know how many calories you were eating, you didn't know how many steps you were doing, you didn't know how many times you were training, you didn't know how much cardio you were doing, how would you ever make any of these changes that I've spoke through? If you don't know what you're doing, you'd just hit a brick wall and you'd be like, oh, I'm not losing fat, I'm not making the progress I want, and end up giving it up. Whereas now you know, okay, I'm going to pull my calories down a little bit because I know exactly what I'm doing. So that's why I said at the start, your start point doesn't matter because you need changes anyway. And that's why I said too, you need to be tracking things, because it's one of the biggest mistakes I made when starting out. I was never tracking as I needed. And this is a bit of a bonus step, but if you want help, I've written a 26-page whopper of a guide. So it's a no bullshit guide to fat loss. And these are the fundamentals, you know, away from the quick tricks and hacks of social media. These are the fundamentals that worked 10 years ago and the fundamentals that are going to work in 10 years from now. You know, these things never change. I've paid for ebooks in the past. I've paid for guides of people like your favorite influencers, and it turns out to be shit. I'm giving you this one away for free, and this can be the perfect accompany to this video. You know, if you want to know how to enjoy social occasions and lose fat. You want to know how to work out your calories, like I said in this video. You want to know what foods you should be eating. You want to know proteins, fats, carbs. You want to know how to manage your sleep around that. You want to know how to drink alcohol and lose fat. It's all within this guide. 26 pages, absolutely free. I'm going to leave it in the link below. You just literally give me an email. I'll send it to you over. You'll be able to get that for free and use this as your accompanying guide to get abs for summer. If you want more content just like this, you know, I'm new to this YouTube game, so one subscribe goes a long way. Please subscribe and I will see you in the next video.